In this lesson, we're going to continue to explore BONSAI BIM for Blender, and we are still in the basics. So we're going to see basic operation and also how we can manage the view in Blender to make our life easier here. So in the previous lesson, we talked about how we can create a new IFC project, how we can save and open IFC projects, how we can find them in the recent menu, and also we saw that we can use some demos, some templates, and some helping resources. So in this video, I'm just gonna start with a new IFC project, just the metric project. I don't wanna use the demo file or like the template. I'm just gonna go with new metric project. So it's gonna be quite empty. Also, we don't see much. Well, it's definitely empty in the geometry part, and it does have some information and some settings in the outliner and in the project properties. But you can see everything is empty. We just have collections, so groups and null objects, again, as groups. And in the right part, we haven't saved anything yet. So this is going to be saved later. It's going to be saved as an IFC project again. And we can see the spatial tree structure right here. So everything is organized in the hierarchy. So what we're going to do is put a new object. So how we can do that? We're going to go to add, as we usually do in Blender. You can see here also we have IFC element in there, but let's start really basic. So I'm going to go with mesh and add a cube. So this is our first object, but it's not yet a BIM object. It's not yet building information modeling. It's just a simple cube. It's just geometry. Now, as we also specified before, something in building information modeling or BIM could be not something physical, like something you place on a story on a floor, but could be just an annotation or an information. So this time we're going to create something actually physical, something that will be in the real world, and it's going to be this cube. Now you can also create here in Blender, you can create cubes and basic shapes by clicking on the little button on the toolbar on the left. And here is going to give you the possibility already to dimension, to give some dimension. So I can create like a pillar, or I can create a floor. And you also have in the latest versions of Blender these subtractive objects or shapes. So again, this is going to be a subtractive cube or a box, and you can do also circle and polygonal shape. And this is basically a Boolean. So it's a quick way to add and subtract geometry from the scene. And again, this is all stuff you'll find in Blender. This is not yet like BIM. So I'm gonna subtract also from here. Again, I'm gonna click, drag, create the shapes, really easy. And if you're having problems with this basic stuff, I really suggest you go and check the Blender video course in the channel, or other courses in Blender in the channel, and video guides. So this is two ways we can add cubes or other shapes like cone, cylinder, but I'm gonna stick with the cube right now. I don't want to do anything, too complex. And then if we want to model this furthermore, we can go into edit mode, usually in Blender. So we can edit, we can model things and make things more advanced. Now you can see that I cannot model that because this is actually a modifier. So I need to go in the modifier panels in the properties. I just switch to the standard layout. And most of the time when you use a modifier and you want to go further with the modeling, you need to apply that modifier. But that cannot be applied right now because we are in edit mode. So we need to switch back to object mode, apply the modifier, and then go back to edit mode. Now, again, this is all, standard Blender. We're not doing anything specifically for BIM at the moment, but I'm trying to create some really rough shape, some really rough geometry. So this will be like an armchair. And also we have the snaps up there. Now everything again is explained in Blender video course if you want to know more about Blender and how it works in general. So now I'm going to go back to BIM interface or BIM layout, and these are now three objects that I can use for my IFC project or my building information modeling project. Now I need to make sure that this stuff is not, well, it's precise enough, and I don't want to like modify it later. I can do it, but let's check. So we have some tools here that we can use in Blender that are really handy. And also you can see here you have IFC object mode and IFC edit mode, which is something extra that we have now. But usually we have here the views, and we can manage the viewport. So I usually use random colors so I can distinguish the various elements in the scene. And also I usually use cavity to have more like three-dimensionality and some like enhanced edges so I can see again better the geometry there. And then, well, let me save. So I'm gonna save these again as a Blender file. So this is gonna be my lesson 03 on the Bonsai BIM course. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna keep everything nice, tidy, organized, and then we will save the IFC as well. But first, let's create some building information modeling object. Now, before we move on, another tip I want to give you. Well, let's make this more a pillar. I don't really know how high is this. I don't really know what are the measures. To see that, I need to go in the sidebar. And I'm going to activate also the screencast keys so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing with my mouse and the buttons here for the less expert. And then I'm going to go up there to the item. Now, to the item, I can see the measures. So I can see the Z, the X, and the epsilon, which will affect the position now. This is the position of the face that I'm selecting on the top. I can select also the face in the bottom, and I can change their, also activate the X-ray vision or transparent vision so you can see through the objects and you can work better when objects are overlapping. And you can see I'm pushing down there, I'm snapping, but this gives me a strange number. Now that number there for the Z of the local, because right now I'm using local coordinates, it refers to the position of that face. So if I want to be more precise, what I could do is, first of all, you can use the 2D views rather than the perspective. And then I'm going to push this face down using the snap to the grid. So if I push this face down with the move tool to the X line, you can see that that's going to be exactly at 0 globally, but it's minus 2.5 or 6 locally because the origin is not at the bottom. So that is why. So if I go to object mode, I can go to options here on the right side. I can activate the modification of the origin, and I can also push the origin as well at the bottom. So now the Z of this object and of that face is going to be 0. So the origin is at 0. So now everything is, referring to the origin. This is an important thing to know in Blender. If you didn't know already, it's really important to understand how everything works. Now, usually I do something which is going to object apply or Control A and apply the scale. So that will make sure that that will be the actual size and dimension of that object, which was initially a cube and it has been modified. Now, if I select that face, you can see it's perfectly at 0. And that one will give me exactly the height of the pillar or the column. So I can define here 7 meters precisely, or I can say 6 meters or 3 meters. So I can be really precise with the height, but also with the other side of the object. Now up here, you'll have other visual aids, other heads-up display. For example, you can activate the edge length, and you can do this only in edit mode. So if I activate the edge length visualization, I can see all the measures for this object. So if I get closer, you can see that these are like little bit strange measures. They are not really precise. So I can fix them again by going into the item section here, and I can use again the global coordinates or the local. Now global will work better if you work in the origin. Now that we are not exactly in the middle of the scene, but we are a little bit aside, we can use the local. It's going to be better. So I can push now each one of these face, or I can put some precise numbers. So if I say 0.1 or minus 0.1, that's going to move 10 centimeters on the left or on the right. So this is going to go on the left, I'm gonna select the other face here. I'm gonna move it 0.1 on the right. So it means I have a 20 centimeters thickness for this element. Let's make it 40. So I'm gonna add 10 centimeters here. So 0.2, 0.2, negative, 0.2, positive, and it's gonna be the total amount is going to be 0.4, which means 40 centimeters thickness. And then I'm going to adjust also on the epsilon value. So I'm going to say again, minus 0.2 and then plus 0.2 for the opposite face. And this will give me again a 40 centimeters total thickness. And basically I created a pillar that has, well, it's perfectly square on the section. So, and then I can adjust the height. So this is going to be my pillar, and I can tell that this armchair, whatever this will be, is quite big. Well, I want this to be an armchair, so it's 2-meter armchair. You can see here when you don't need to be more accurate, more specific, you can just type here the amount, the general amount. So let's say that this armchair will be 1 meter, a 1 meter cube in terms of occupied space. And I'm going to push the origin again down, and I'm going to snap to the vertex of the object instead of snapping to the grid. I'm going to snap to the bottom of this chair to push the origin exactly at the bottom, and then deactivate the modification of the origin in the options. So I don't want to affect only the origin, but I want to move the object now, snapping to the ground, to that floor. So again, these are really some basics of Blender, but I think that are really important. So just to make sure you know them, I just wanted to show you these really important tools in Blender, so you can move on also with the BONSAI BIM add-on. So I don't care about the floor right now. I don't want to dimension it. I just want to move on now with the BIM, or building information modeling. So how we can turn this into a BIM object. So let's go now in the properties panel. Now this part is all about the overview of the project, and the next panel is going to be about the object. So you can also click in the list and select from the list these panels. So go into the object information, and here you have some object metadata. So you have basically information that are stored within that object. So again, it's not just about geometry when we work with IFC, when we work with BIM or BIM. So it's about now defining what this thing is. And well, it's going to be an IFC element, meaning that it's going to be a physical element, something that actually is in the reality, because a pillar is actually real. It's in reality. An annotation is not something physical. It's not something in reality. And then you have classes. You can see you have a bunch of classes that you can use. So you need to find what's the most appropriate class for this. Wait, is this a beam? No, because it's vertical. So well, I need to search rather like pillar or column, or well, some wall sometimes, or well, it's not a window, it's not, and there it is, IFC column. So that's going to be the class. So product will be IFC element, class IFC column, and then predefine here, we can leave this as column, but you can also change as pilaster, or undefined. Sometimes can be fine. You can also change this later, and just gonna keep everything as it is, and then assign the IFC class. And there we go. Now we have our first IFC object. You can see it also here. It changed the name. It's called IFC column / cube, because this was originally named cube, but definitely rename the element that you create so you can understand them better. And up here on the right side again, we have attributes now, and you can see this is again in the object metadata we have now IFC column, and I can go now and change things, modify them. So you have the edit button there, and these are the current settings, the current information that are stored, but we also can push more. But anyway, let's keep it simple again for this first lesson. So I'm going to go edit, and for example here I can change the name. So I'm going to call this like pillar, and then I can put a description, I can put an object type, I can put a tag, and so on. But when I finish, I can confirm or I can delete the editing. And now, so I can just go back here and back and forward anytime. I can come back, change things, add new things, information, etc., etc. Up here, we can select classes, we can link, unlink, and then we can modify or reassign the IFC class. So if I want to change it, I can change it again, or I can just, delete this editing. All right, now let's move on to the next one, which is going to be our armchair. So that's going to be something like a furniture. Now I can change the name right away, again, in the outliner, as we usually do in Blender. And usually when you change the name, also change the color when you use the random coloring. And now let's go back here. So again, it's going to be an IFC element because it's going to be real, something that it's actually going to be part of the interior or the architecture or something like that. Class, well, you can also use the search. So you can search directly and try to search by logic. So this will be something like furniture or furnishing or interiors or something like that. So you can type and see if there is something like that. Well, there is nothing like that, but furniture, yes. So we do have furniture, and we do have also some more specific furniture type like bed or whatever. So if I look for chair, I can find chair directly, and then apply. There you go. So now we have created another building information object. And last one is going to be the pavement, and I'm going to just do the same thing. So it's not going to be, of course, a furniture. Look for a plan or a floor or slab or something, and there we go. So this is going to be a slab, and more specifically, it's going to be a floor. It's not going to be like a roof or something like that. And there it is. So assign again the IFC class, and there you go. Now we have our first 3 IFC objects. So now I'm ready to save my IFC project, which now contains some IFC objects that I created. And I'm going to save it again as, well, it's going to be IFC4 for the moment. Save. And there it is. So I've saved the Blender file. I saved the IFC. Well, there is some more objects in here. These are for the Booleans. So once you finish with the Booleans, you can keep them as cutters. So you can create more Booleans with that. Or you can just remove the collection here of the Booleans. So you keep the outliner panel more tidy. And that's it. So this is going to be it for this lesson. We're going to proceed in the following one. So subscribe, stay updated, and join the channel if you want to support us and thank us. And also check our other video courses in Blender in the channel, or video guides that we publish every day. So we're going to continue with the next one, exploring again IFC projects and how they are structured. And there's a lot of going on in there, but video by video, you will be more comfortable, you will be more familiar with the tools and the panels and everything else. So again, this will be all for this lesson, and thanks for watching. Check our other videos and see you in the next lesson.